We're back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild, and today we're going to be talking about 5 different things that could definitely be ruining your hunt. And by eliminating these 5 things from your gameplay, you will definitely find more trophies and find more overall success in the game. Let me know in the comments what your absolute best trophy is from Silver Ridge Peaks, and somewhere in the video I am going to share a key phrase. Drop that in the comments for your chance to win a 1-month membership to the channel, and we're going to head right into it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is something that I actually used to do quite a bit as a new player until I realized what a negative effect it was having on my game. When I actually stopped using this item, I actually started finding diamonds consistently for the very first time. Seriously. And that item is wearing a backpack. Now, we all love to have extra space. 20 kilograms is never enough, especially if you like to carry either tents or tripods or even both. If you're setting up a grind and you need to carry tents and tripods, you're probably only going to have room for 1 rifle, and that is just not going to cut it. Now, I understand why people like to come in here and purchase a backpack, but I'm going to encourage you to never use a backpack. The only time you should ever use a backpack is when you're setting up for a grind and you're not doing any hunting whatsoever. Now, when you look in here, it says, and this is a bigger backpack, additional carrying capacity 9? Is that 9 kilograms? That's kind of crazy. That sounds delightful, I will agree. But the increased noise is 7 and the increased visibility is 5. Doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it has a huge effect on spooking animals. There are smaller ones and there are even fanny packs, and I would agree that for an extra 3 kilograms, an increased noise of only 3 and increased visibility of 1 isn't very much. Doesn't seem like it, but it definitely is. What actually happens is, as you are traveling around the map, and we do run, I mean, you should be running at least some of the time. If you walk around the entire map, you're never going to get anywhere and you're never going to find any animals. Look at that. I just got a warning call from a turkey 250 meters to over 300 meters away from just moving around with a backpack on. Holy! That is crazy. Okay, so I just put on a backpack and I filled it up. What we're gonna do is we are going to run down towards these animals. They're about 340 meters out, and we're gonna see how soon that they actually spook. Here we go. All right, so you can see in the bottom right-hand corner by the red bars, I am definitely making more noise than normal. Now let's pay attention. Okay, we've already spooked some elk down there. Ooh, nice, very nice Rocky Mountain elk, and he is out of here. Oh, and there they go. They're attentive, they're alert. Everything is figuring out that I'm here way sooner than if I were not wearing a backpack. So you really don't want to wear a backpack, but wearing a backpack is going to spook things often before you even get a chance to spot them. And this could be the reason why you're not finding diamonds. The second thing that could definitely be ruining your hunt is something that I am actually guilty of every once in a while. It's something that we do without even realizing it, and that would be traveling around incorrectly or running straight into lakes, and that's what I'm doing right now. Often we will run right in without thinking about it, when really what we should be doing is running into about 150 meters and then stopping and starting to walk and spotting everywhere. Now, I'm not spooking the animals across the water, but the ones on this side, they will be gone. So nothing is around here. Had I stopped at 150 meters and started to spot, and if I do notice animals even closer, then I might even want to crouch. Basically, you want to get into a lake without spooking anything, because you could be spooking a very cool trophy away, and if you don't get eyes on it, you won't even know it was there in the first place, and you will never end up with that trophy in your lodge. So you definitely don't want to run all the way into lakes. You want to be a lot more patient. Now, the other thing you don't want to do is travel around like this. There definitely is a need to run around in the game. If you don't, you're never going to arrive anywhere. And you definitely want to be hunting drink zones if you are looking for that first diamond or lots of different trophies. Most animals in the game do drink, and it's just really easy to find them when they're drinking, because you know exactly where the water sources are just from looking at the map, and you just head there during their drink time and spot around the entire circumference of the lake, spotting every single animal to see if you do have any potential diamonds or rares around the lake. Now, if you do that way too fast, you're gonna spook everything and nothing's gonna be there for you when you get there. Now, you also don't want to be traveling around like this, because if you do, you'll never get to the lake. And yes, you definitely can spook things while you are traveling to lakes. It is always possible that that diamond could be in a feed zone that you're passing and you could spook it. And that's totally okay. Sometimes you're gonna spook animals, but as a new player, or if you are really intent on hunting for diamonds and you'd like to find them quickly, you definitely want to be hunting drink zones. So run right up to 150 meters and then travel the rest of the way in more slowly, spotting everywhere, and you will end up with more success in the game. So the next thing that could definitely be ruining your hunt is placing your tent or your tripod in the wrong place. Now, a couple updates ago, the spook radius for tents was changed, and so the current spook radius for tents is 180 meters, or about 195 yards. Now, that doesn't mean you should be dropping your tent exactly 180 meters from the drink zone when you are doing a grind. So right now, we are here in my Yukon Moose grind, and as you can see, I have my tent about 240 meters away from the zone. Now, I like to put my tent about 230 to 240 meters away from the zone that I am grinding. Now, the reason that I'm doing that is when you have a herd of animals using a drink zone, they're never going to be in the same place twice, and they're not going to sit right on top of that drink zone. They're going to be within 50 meters in any direction of the drink zone, or of any zone. So sometimes they could be back here, but other times they might be 50 meters closer to you. And if your tent is set right at 180 meters, when you fast travel in, you're gonna spook everything in that zone and you're not gonna get to shoot too much. It's definitely not gonna help your grind. So I definitely recommend dropping that tent at about 230 meters. I like to put my tripod at about 200 meters or closer. And the reason for that is what you want to be able to do is run right into the tripod without spooking your animals to be able to take your shots. You also want to be within 200 meters so that if you want to use a collar, they will be able to hear the collar. When you're over 200 meters away, most of the collars stop working at 200 meters. Man, I have some very tiny moose here. So setting up this way will definitely help you to find more success when doing any grind or just in simply using your tents and tripods. Moving on to the next thing that can definitely ruin your hunt. Now, this isn't something that you do, this is something that you don't do. And what you want to do is carry a full loadout when you're out trophy hunting. And the reason you want to do this is you know what's gonna happen. You're going to find a cool trophy, even if it's not something that you're hunting for, and you don't have a weapon to shoot it with. So you go back to the tent and you get the weapon and you go back and the animal is gone. Then you have to re-find the animal and take it down. And whenever you have to re-find something, it always takes 10 times longer than it would have if you had had that weapon to shoot it in the first place. So you definitely want to carry a weapon that is good for every class of animal on the map. Now, what happened to me was I was grinding moose. Now, the one exception is when I'm doing a grind, I can't carry every weapon when I'm just grinding moose. But what happened was I actually spotted during my moose grind an albino harlequin duck. And of course, I did not have a 22 on me. So I got the zone and I figured, okay, well, I'll just go back and get him later. So later came along, I grabbed my 22, I went out, and I could not get those ducks to come back into this zone. I tried, I came back, every rotation right at the end of their feed time, and they just were not here. And finally, what I did was I just waited. The zone ends at 1500, so I came here at 1430 and I just stood here. And eventually the ducks flew in and I got my albino harlequin duck. But man, that took me a very long time. And had I had the weapon in the first place, I would have shot him immediately, put him in my lodge, and I wouldn't have had to waste so much time. Now, there are weapons that can definitely help you do this when you are carrying heavier weapons. So I have started using the one-shot 243 pistol, which is the R Cuomo. It only weighs 1 kilogram, so that'll fit into just about any loadout. There is also the one-shot 4570, and that's good from classes 4 all the way up to 9. And there is also a 22 pistol. Now that doesn't carry one shot, it carries 5. It also only weighs 1 kilogram. So there are a variety of pistols that are very light that will definitely help you to cover all the classes when you're hunting. So grab those whenever you need them, and then when you run into that trophy that you might not have been looking for, you can take it down and put it in your lodge and not waste a pile of time. Now the last thing that can definitely ruin your hunt is not having the absolute best skills and perks, and this can definitely stop you from getting diamonds. A lot of people struggle with finding diamonds, and it's very hard for me to help them with what they might be doing wrong, but having the right skills and perks is absolutely essential. The first skill we're going to look at is track knowledge, and this is under stalker skills. So track knowledge will give you information on the gender of the animal, information about the animal group size when investigating need zone tracks, and the health of the animal when tracking blood trails. It will also give you the approximate weight when tracking and the fur type when you do have disturbed vegetation. And disturbed vegetation is another skill, so you do have to have this skill as well in order to pick up the fur type on disturbed vegetation. And then you will want 2 points in soft feet. This reduces the noise you make when moving through different vegetation. Then under ambusher skills, you will want 3 points in spotting knowledge. This gives you all of the information you need when spotting an animal, such as how aware they are of nearby threats, gives you information about the health of the animal, and the approximate trophy estimate and weight range. So that is very important. You will want 1 point in sight spotting. This unlocks the ability to spot animals while in aim mode with any weapon. So now we are under rifle perks, and you will want 3 points in breath control, and this is to take the steadiest shot possible with less wobble. You will also want 2 points in zeroing. Basically what this does is it allows you to adjust your rifle to take the perfect shot from any distance. Then you also want 2 points in steady hand, decrease wobble while in aim mode using any weapon. So now we are under shotgun perks, and you will want 3 points under recoil management. So it reads less recoil when firing any weapon and able to fire a follow-up shot sooner. People ask me all the time how I have so little recoil, and this is the answer. 3 points in recoil management. And then under archery perks, you will want 1 point in move and shoot, also giving you decreased aim wobble while in aim mode using any weapon. So those are my top 10 most important skills and perks that I do recommend you get as soon as you can as you are leveling up. Now I do have a full skills and perks guide. I will leave the link to that in the description below, but there you have it. And if you did enjoy the video, guys, splat that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Your trophy lodge will thank you. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Now I'm going to recommend that you click right here for the top 10 best tips and tricks for new players.